Look at me. Look at what I have done with my life. I've gone to school, got my degree, and I got a good job. Yep, I did all of this. I achieved a good life. Or, look at me. Look at what I have not done and what I have not accomplished. I haven't got a college degree. I don't have a good job. I've been married and divorced a couple of times. I haven't done anything right in my entire life. What if you knew that neither one of these scenarios is true? What if you knew that you have never done anything, either right or wrong? What if you knew you have never done or even now are doing anything? Join us and see who or what is the doer. This is Who Am I?
Who am I?
Who am I?
Who?
Our purpose is to awaken.
Who am I?
To awaken to absolute truth.
Am I?
Who am I? Who?
Who?
Our purpose is to awaken to absolute truth.
Absolute.
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 Absolute truth.
Our purpose is to awaken. Are they one and the same? Absolute and true. That's our purpose.
Who am I?
Yeah, so look what you've done. You ever had to, you had to write your resume. Okay, you go, yeah, I finished this, I did this, I worked at this job or whatever, You go, look what all I did. Or, look what I didn't do. I didn't finish school. I didn't do this right. I can't ever do anything right. Sound familiar, right? Yeah, sure, okay. Notice how much of your life is around doing, okay? Or avoid doing, okay? But do seems to be the central word for humans, okay? Well, it's kind of like, when you go to work on Monday, people say, what'd you do over the weekend? Like you're supposed to do something. What, you didn't do anything? Like, what's wrong with you? You're a lazy so-and-so or whatever, So everything is about doing. It's about, look at what I have done. Look at the big house I have. Look at my Mercedes. I am successful because I'm a doer and I have accomplished things. All right? And this is, I remember when I was walking around New Orleans one time, went down for an APA convention there, and they had, there was this certain section of New Orleans where, this house is a mansion. And then right next to a guy who had built another mansion, which is bigger than that mansion. And then right next to that mansion is another house that is bigger than that house. It's like, I have outdone you, okay? Like, I am bigger and better because I can do more and I have accomplished more, all right? And we measure our life, our success, usually by what you have or what I have accomplished, okay? Is that true? Are you somebody who has to accomplish things, who has to have a big resume or a big house that you can show people, look what I have done, okay? Is that what life about? Is that success? Well, like we said in this last show, you have been conditioned that your doing is what you are. You can't be who you are unless you have done something.
Well, if you're identifying with the human or the personal identity, then yes, you're trapped in that lack. You're trapped in that fear of trying to prove that you are somebody.
Yeah.
And you're an important somebody if you make all these accomplishments.
Uh-huh.
And you're a nobody if you don't do anything. So
Right.
no one wants to be a nobody.
Yeah. Maybe if there is a purpose in life, life is about getting to something that I have to realize that I can do nothing, said the master. Okay? See, all below this line, I'm doing something. And I think I can do it. I don't want to ever think that I can't do. Okay? At least I can get out of bed, all right? Or whatever. So, I can do something. I can't imagine myself not doing anything. But maybe life is realizing it's about not doing. Now, you might hear that through something called lazy, okay? That, it's just, you're just supposed to sit on your tush. Tush? Where did I get that word from? Well, whatever. I couldn't say another word, all right? But, that you are supposed to just sit down all day. But notice even if you did that, okay, you would still go, I'm bored. I got to do something. Get up and, go to a party or go to the club or something.
I'm retired now, and it was like it took me some years to be okay without having a list and accomplishing things on that list, but just to let the day flow as it flowed. It was like, it was hard. I had to adjust to that.
Yes.
And I still am adjusting. Like I have to, I feel happier when I've accomplished something during the day.
Yeah.
It's like that's so ingrained.
Yeah, it's kind of like, Archibald, of our peer group, I think I'm the only one who's still working, okay? Because you're retired and Jim and Cecil and, everybody else, Ron and anyway, yeah. But anyway, it's like when you reach retirement, there's still this thing called do, okay? That you are caught in this thing called doing if you're human. But Jesus said of myself, you got to look at what this do thing does. What do does. Huh? Yeah, I mean, this is what he was, because he was just investigating. He was in an inquiry. He had to be. I mean, he was a good Jewish boy, and he realized the limits of what he had been conditioned by, all right? And he had to go beyond what he was taught as a good Jewish boy growing up in Galilee, or where did he grow up? In Galilee, whatever it was, okay? But, just like Siddhartha was a good Hindu, and he had to go beyond Hinduism. Now, since you're going to think you can do, why not do something that will free you of doing?
Kind of changing the subject, but the question number one was, if God created the world and all in 6 days, and became exhausted, so he had to rest. My question is, why did it take him 6 days? Why didn't he just go blink his eye or go like that or?
Yeah.
I
always ask the question, why didn't God get rid of Satan? Just zap him.
Well,
but see, that's a story.
Who wrote the story?
Yeah, somebody who couldn't get outside of their human identity. Okay? Somebody who was caught up in thinking that this is the real world and that they had to have a God, to explain what how the real world was created and even how it's going to end, in Revelations, okay? Yeah, because as we were saying in the previous show, the primary doing that any human does is thinking. Thinking that you have to or can do, and that your doing is an indication of who you are, all right? I got a resume. See what I have done. That's what a resume says. Look what I have done, okay? Be impressed with what I have done. Really? Did you do it? Who is this I that thinks it can do something? As the master said, Jesus can't do one thing, and yet we pray to him. Okay? But he says, no, don't focus on me. Focus on the source, the only doer. The only doer is omni-action. That's the only doer. Now, what is that? Who is that, Gloria?
That's the invisible. That's
God.
Yes.
According to the story.
Well, we want to go beyond
But
the
it's
story.
even like using that puppet.
You want me to get my puppy again? Okay.
He likes to get
You like my puppy? I like my puppy.
I know you like the
Yeah,
puppy.
yeah. Okay. Hello, Marvin.
So it looks like that puppet is talking and moving and all, but it's not. And we've said that it's the ego, the edging out God, edging God out. So, and that's not omni-action.
No.
So it's like distinguish omni-action from ego.
Right. Well, can Mickey Mouse do anything?
No.
It looks
Appears
like
that
it.
he is.
I mean, don't you see Mickey Mouse doing, running around with Donald Duck and Minnie and Goofy and who else? And what's the dog's name?
Pluto.
Pluto. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, you got the trivia question. Okay. You didn't know who was in the movie, that we couldn't remember. But anyway, so the thing is, when you realize, you are nothing. But how can I accept that I'm nothing? Okay? Would I or could I accept that I am nothing?
But that's like them talking about dark matter.
What you mean?
I mean, they always mention dark matter.
Right.
Well, how do they know what dark matter? I mean, is dark matter or is it just a hole?
They don't even
don't
know.
know.
Science doesn't really, they can't explain it.
Right,
Okay?
but it's the same difference.
Yeah, but see, there is something that is always being. Can you deny being?
Is dark matter being?
Yeah.
Well, I don't
They
know.
don't know. Nobody
Right,
knows.
but I know I be.
Mm,
All right, I cannot deny I. Who's denying it? I am. Oh, thank you. Okay. See, that's if you want to get to the source, and science thinks it can get to the source, it can't. Okay. And I respect science. My father was a scientist. Okay. But you have to know the limits of all things. I respect religions. I don't care if you're Jewish, Christian, or whatever. Do whatever you want, but realize the limitations of it. Okay. Everything you think is limited because it's a thought. All right. And all thoughts are limited. So is there something that's unlimited? Now that's an intelligent question. Now notice just keep looking at you. Don't look at me or anybody else. Look within you and see what you are doing with these questions. See if you have something called a defense against it, a reaction to it. Like, no, that's against my conditioning, my religion. Well, see if why you are holding on to something that limits. That's important. If there is a God, then it must be infinite. How do I know that? Because there's only infinity. How do I know that? Because there's only being. There cannot be non-being.
You say that God is infinite.
Because there's only infinity.
Who defined God?
I know that there's being. Now you can make up a word for God.
I mean, and why do you want to give this particular property to God?
Well, I can just say being. I don't like the word God. I can just say there's only existence.
Why don't you
You
like
can
the
say
word
that.
God?
You can say there's only that you know of infinity,
That there's only existence.
existence.
Yeah.
But you don't have to use the word God. You could say Bob.
Yeah, I can say, rug. I can say, all right, whatever. It doesn't, I mean, that's just a name, all right? Like Archibald calls me Beaver. I called him Ball. But his mama, in his family, he's known as Brownie. Okay? Right, Ball? Yeah, So, it's just names, all right? We want the essence. What is the essence of everything? Okay? By the way, do you know that the word psychology, okay, what the word psychology literally means? Yeah. Most psychologists don't even know. Okay? Psychology means study of. Psyche. Psyche literally means soul. And one of the definitions of soul is essence. Essence. What's the essence of everything? Now, psychology gets all hung up in the mind down here, the human mind, okay? But what is the essence? has to be being. Now, what's the source of being? All right? Is there a source of being? Now, why not ask these questions? Okay? And don't let anybody answer them for you. Don't give that authority to anybody else. You go within and respect you. And don't let anybody else, I mean, you can listen to somebody else, but you are the ultimate authority.
Now, I got hung up on the answers when I asked Google a question.
Google.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it came to my attention that I would always use the word I.
Yeah.
And I said, who is that? So I asked Google, I said, Google, what do these two words mean? I and am. It said, I is God, am exists only. That was good enough for me.
Okay. Well, I'm surprised Google would give you that answer.
Telling you,
Yeah.
I almost passed out.
Yeah.
I said,
Well, I mean,
jeepers.
the way it's related, it basically is in the Bible. Isn't it? What is it?
I am that
I am that I am
Yes.
is only stuff that's, so that's where Google would get that.
I got to show you this again.
Yeah.
I was walking, started something. I thought it was beautiful because I loved this color. And I picked it up and had writing on it. I said, it says, I am because God said that I am. So I kept, anyway, I was talking to a girl on the phone. She lived in another state. And as we closed the conversation, I said, she asked me something. I said, well, I am that I am. She said, oh, now you're going to blaspheme God. I was like, she punished me. So I said, wow. I said, well, I didn't know that was blasphemy. I said, it's the truth. She hung up. Hadn't heard from her anymore.
And that's what happens. People, we have to defend what we think is true, but we don't investigate. As you were saying earlier in the previous show, all this conditioning. And it's okay, like I said, to believe whatever you want to believe. We got Halloween coming up in a couple of days, and some people going to dress up as ghosts and witches and hobgoblins and all that. It's okay to play all that kind of stuff. If you want to believe you're a witch, go on.
It's like I used to think that in order to get above the line, or in order to relate to God's identity versus the human identity or the personal identity, that you have to die to that self, like die to the old man. I think that's used in scripture too. And that dying to that self that I thought I was, that human identity and the personal identity, it's like I didn't want to do that. That was like scary for me because it feels like I've spent so much of my life trying to find out who I am. And then I come here and I'm supposed to die to that that false identity. It's like, no, I don't want to do that. I've worked so hard. But what I've seen is that human identity and that personal identity, that's all about my beliefs. It's what I think I know. And it's like, can I die to those beliefs? If that feels easier to do than dying to that self. So maybe that's just an access to, that's not my identity. Identifying with a human is not who I am. And I can get closer to identifying with God's identity, the infinite, but I can't even get there, right? Because you said it's like going to Chattanooga. We can get closer to Chattanooga, but we can never get there. Like Jesus is closer than like a Hitler, but you never get there.
Right.
So it's like that gives me access to getting closer to my true identity versus hanging on to that false identity.
Yeah. See, we start off thinking we're human. Okay. I mean, I automatically think I'm Alan. I think I'm a body standing up here, talking to the 10 of you or something. Okay. And we call that reality. And that's the first thought, because I think that there's something called not me, there's another. Okay? Now, can the infinite know of something called another?
No.
Okay? Of course not, by definition. All right? But see, I start off, once I would think that there's something called another. That's why anytime you see another, you're lying. You're blaspheming. All right? You think that you have taken the power away from omnipotence. Okay? In Greek mythology, there was I forgot what his name, but supposedly he was able to steal the fire from the gods. Okay? That's what all humans think. We think we have God's, that he gave us some of his power. God gave Carol some power, Gloria some power, Viva some power, okay? And then, he says, well, I got my stuff over here, but here you can have some of it. And y'all over there, I'm in heaven, but y'all down there, okay? How can that be true? Now ask yourself these questions. What's your premise? Is your premise absolute truth? Okay? If it is absolute truth, then glory, you will never get to heaven. But glory is heaven. You get that? Okay? But not as Gloria.
Right. Gloria is
Not this woman who,
I am that I
is sitting
am
in a
is
chair in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay? Jesus who was born to Mary and Joseph. If Jesus thought that he was Jesus, then he was blaspheming. Okay? Or if he thought that he was the Son of God, he was blaspheming. All right? Because he was limiting God. How can you limit infinity? But every thought you have does that automatically, and you are not responsible.
So every thought we have, we're actually limiting the existence of I am.
Yes, exactly.
And that's all there is.
Yes, okay, because your thought, the first sin and the only sin is I think, therefore I am, Descartes. You're a blasphemer, Descartes. Yeah, Addie.
Well, I have to disagree with your statement saying that Jesus was limiting God.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you said, right?
Yes, that's it.
But to me, Jesus was an expansion of God.
How do you expand infinity?
Because he branched off.
How do you branch off from infinity?
Well, he broke a little piece of it off.
What did he branch off
Okay,
from?
yeah, I'm not trying to disrespect
I'm saying he broke a little piece off and sent it down here because God did not have a body. I could have had one, I guess, but he was everywhere.
Which means what?
And always present.
What does that mean?
But people couldn't see him, so he made this human being.
Okay.
And named Jesus, and named him Jesus. Well, Mary and them named him Jesus.
Okay, well that's a belief. Even the Muslims wouldn't agree with that. Okay.
Even the Muslims.
Because they have their own belief system.
Yeah.
All right. It's all psychology. It's about what you, as Archibald said, the cognition, the thinking. Have you investigated what is thinking, and is there something before a belief? Okay, where does a belief come from? Okay, that's what you want to go to. Just don't stick with your beliefs. It's okay to have any belief. All right, Christmas is coming up, and we all as kids believed in Santa Claus, most of us. Okay, and we got some good stuff. All right, but it's just made up.
Some of us.
Okay, if you were a good little girl, but if you were not a good little girl, all of that is made up. Okay. It is as real as you're dreaming about that you're with Denzel or that I'm with, with Beyonce. That's a dream. It's no reality.
But it's made up with a purpose, and the purpose is to have us think that we are our bodies and that God is elsewhere, and that we're actually doing this thinking, and that the belief system around this whole thing is our own belief system when it's something that has been reinforced over centuries and taught to us.
And what's the source of that? Yeah, you're right.
Puppet master.
Exactly. You can call it puppet master or ego or whatever you want to call it. All right. And it appears to have power and that it can do something. It appears that it can separate from God, from the infinite. It can break off a piece of infinity. Okay. It appears that like the Alan Carter can, imagine anything. I mean, Walt Disney imagined a rat talking. He did. He made gazillions of dollars. They don't call him a rat, they call him a mouse. What's the difference between a rat and a mouse?
So,
The different species.
age, all the different species, he said.
But anyway, but that's just something Walt Disney made up. Okay? And you show Mickey Mouse to, I got a little 3-year-old granddaughter. Okay? And I show her Mickey Mouse. She goes, oh, Mickey. There ain't no Mickey Mouse in truth. That's just something that's made up.
It's all made up to make us think that we're our bodies.
Yes.
And not to have us to realize that we're not the body, that we're a part of omni-action and being, and we can never be separate from that.
Right. And I'm not even part of it. That's what I am.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
all, I'm
yeah.
included in that.
Yeah. And see, if you are God, then you will never see anybody other than yourself. Okay? God can't see the devil. There can't be a devil. There can't be an opposer to the infinite all one. Okay? But see, I can see somebody like a Trump and I can say I don't like him. Well, then I'm blaspheming. Okay? Because I have now said that I am not the all. All right? That I'm Alan Carter who can see something separate and apart from me. Okay? Even if I see something good called Jesus. Okay? If I see something called Jesus, I'm blaspheming. Now, I know that's hard to hear, because it goes counter to everything that we've been conditioned. Well, look and see. Just don't react. Investigate. Investigate your own thoughts and your own beliefs, and don't give that power to anybody. Respect yourself, okay? And respect yourself by investigating, how do I know it's true? Prove to me that it's true. I will not accept anybody's definition. Respect yourself. Don't be a prostitute, okay?
Living Truth 365 is proud to support Dr. Alan Carter and the Who Am I television show. Please visit our website at livingtruth365.org to find out more about our services, classes, and community support. We invite you to visit with us and share our journey in truth.